Here's going to be a short lesson on clearing decimals and linear equations. Hopefully I put out a few of these so you guys can understand what's exactly going on and why we do it. But here's the first problem. So clearing decimals and linear equations. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 45 hundredths x minus 2 tenths is equal to 29 hundredths x minus 1. All right. And if you have to do this, you can do this with a decimal. It's not a big thing. What you do have to understand, though, is when I'm adding or subtracting decimals, I have to line them up. Combining like terms, I'm combining my x's together. I'm combining my constants together. When I'm multiplying decimals, I count the digits. I multiply the numbers as if there were no decimals. And then in my answer, those number of digits that are behind my decimal show back up in my answer. And in division, I just simply can't divide by a decimal. That means at the end, I'm going to have to manipulate the denominator, what I'm dividing, and I'm going to have to get the decimal out of there. What I do the bottom, I do the top, or what I do the inside, I do the outside. Same exact philosophy. So today, instead of remembering all those, what I'm going to teach you is just a shortcut to just get rid of my decimals. If you've listened to my spiel on fractions, they're very similar. What I first have to do is I have to count the number of terms that I have here, and it's important that I understand the terms. 45 hundredths x is a term. Minus 2 tenths is a term. 29 hundredths x is a term, and 1 is a term. So there are actually 4 terms there. When I look at these 4 terms, I need to find a number that I can multiply that moves my decimal. Well, when I'm moving a decimal, 10 makes my decimal move one place to the right, right? So times 10 will get it to the right. But if I move it one place to the right here, it doesn't eliminate my decimal. Here it does, but there it doesn't. Okay, so the goal is to get rid of all of my decimals. So I don't really want to take it times 10. I want to take it times 100. And 100 is going to get that decimal in this guy and this guy gone. And really, it'll get them gone in those 2 guys as well. We just won't really care about that because decimal's gone or decimal's gone. So let's see how that actually applies. Let's get rid of all my scribble scrabble here. Come back to the original problem. And I'm going to take this side and this side, left and right. What I do to the left, I do to the right. I'm going to take it times that 100. Now, when I do that, it's going to shift my decimal 2 places to the right, or times 10 times 100, and I get 45x. Because there's 2 terms sitting over here, I have to distribute the 100 times both of them. So this would be minus 20 now, times 10 gets us behind the 2, and times another 10 gets a 0 brought in. It's behind that 0. If I do the left, I'm now going to do the right, and I get 29x. Don't forget about that 1. 1 times 100 is 100. Here again, no decimals. Don't have to worry about my rules. I just need to now go solve that problem. So as you can see, my left side simplified, my right side simplified. I'm going to subtract 29 to both sides. So when I subtract 29x, make sure the x goes with it. I'm going to get no x's over here. On this side, I'm going to get 16 x's. I can also do this in the same thing if I want to in the same line. It's 2 different steps, but it's in the same line. I'm going to add 20, which gets that gone. What I do to one side, I do to the other. And that gets me to equal. That's a 20. I don't know what happened there. That's a 20. All right. So 16x is now equal to 80. Divide by 16, divide by 16, and x is 5. And that's easier than manipulating through all the decimals, making sure they all line up, making sure where they line up, how they line up, and when I divide, making sure that this number on the bottom is a whole number, or manipulating what I do the bottom, I do the top, in order to get that way. Here again, you want to know that 5 is the correct answer, plug it in, left side equals right side, and you'll know exactly that it is the right answer.